Up everybody, welcome back to Cigars and Whiskey for our next review. Today's review is going to be the My Father La Opulencia cigar. This is kind of similar to the Centurion, but what I've been told, it's a little stronger. I have had this stick. It is pretty good. I mean, I gotta say I like it, but I also am very partial to My Father cigars in general. The price point for this cigar, but it's a 6x60 box pressed cigar, and it's roughly $12. It is a little higher price point, but man, if you're looking for something to celebrate, something that you want to just spend some extra money on yourself, then this is definitely something. Or if you're looking for a gift for a cigar smoker, I would recommend this. It's really good. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of the cellophane here, and as you can see, it is a dark chocolate. I mean, it's almost to an Oscuro color, but not that deep. It is a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, and the binder and filler are both Nicaraguan, and you gotta just dig it. I mean, it's box pressed, really tight seams, minimal veins, and it's got the ribbon at the end. And I just dig the My Father bands. They're just so colorful, but they look so nostalgic for like cigars in general, like the Cuban theme type thing. But with that said, let's go ahead and cut it up, and we'll get into that pre-drop. Because we are, it's such a larger stick, a 6x60. I think the only thing that I want to do with it is I try to V-cut. I'm not too partial with that. I'm going to try the straight cut, and as you can see, my extra oversized cutter. I think these do up to like a 70 ring gauge, or maybe even 80. I mean, it's huge. Let's go ahead and take that end off. Perfectly cut. So the other thing I dig about My Fathers is they don't have really much technically as far as bad cuts. As long as you have a sharp utensil. When your cutter starts getting dull, that's when you start to notice fraying and ripping instead of cutting. So let's see here. I'm getting a sweet cocoa. Getting almost like a raisin profile. A little bit of peppery earth, which is notorious for Nicaraguan cigars. But with that Mexican San Andreas wrapper, I think it's adding a new dimension to it. But it smells good. Smells like sweet hay, or as some I've heard people say, barnyard. To me, that turns me off. You say barnyard, I'm thinking manure, bad things. No. Sweet hay. So that's what I refer to it. If you get barnyard, that's what I mean. Wow, pretty good. So let's go ahead and get out the trusty lighter, and let's get this thing started. Gotta say, man, that smell, you're getting the aroma, getting like a real, like a spicy wood profile I'm getting right away. Maybe it's just the cigar and my experience today, but it hits you right in the back of the throat. Man, that's pretty good. So go ahead, keep going. I'll be back when I get through some more of it. Hey, just some background on the cigar before we get into that third. The cigar was released in July of 2017. Now, it was supposed to be released a month earlier, but I guess because of the hurricane at that time offset the distribution after it was announced at the trade show that it was being released in July. So it has been out for about 7 months now. So with that said, definitely it should be available to you. Most retailers that carry the My Father line have it. The only thing, if they don't have it, it isn't that they can't. Sometimes you got to ask the shop. Sometimes it's not because they can't get it. It's just they don't want to invest in a lot of the newer cigars. Some of the shops are like that. I don't understand that, but they don't want to. They like making their money, and they don't want to spend more money on cigars that they won't be able to turn. And with this being a $12 price point that I've seen, that might be a while. Some shops won't carry it because if they stick to a certain amount that they carry for their clientele. But as far as I know, every shop I've been into that carries a lot of the My Father have it. But just a side note, thought I'd let you know about that, man. So we're back. What's up, everybody? Welcome back for the second part of our review. Now, in that first third, you can see it is burning a little uneven. I think I'll touch it up a little bit, but sometimes I leave it because I want to see if it'll correct itself. A lot of times it does. The profiles of this second, into the first third, into the second third, we got real heavy black pepper. It felt almost like a red pepper. But I don't think it was that strong. It was real predominant. You could tell it was there. That is predominant, like I said earlier, for Nicaraguan tobaccos. But my father always has a little bit of a pepper in one of the thirds. Just always does. And then it mellows out. And then it might come back at the end. Just depends on the blend of the tobaccos. But I'm also noting on the smoke, I'm getting more of a smell of like a cedar wood being burned. Getting a little bit of the cedar profile in the flavor of the cigar. But other than that, it's about the same. A little chocolate, a little earth, a little hay, a little bit of that pepper. And now it's starting to mellow out in the second, so hopefully it gets better. And then, like I said, it comes off of that cedar. But so far, a good cigar. So again, if you have had my father's and you've had a bad experience, don't assume they're all that way. You got to remember these are hand-rolled cigars. Some of them are rolled, and sometimes there's imperfections inside where a vein acts as a wick. It gets it'll get hot, and then it'll just go up to the cigar and ruin it. I've seen it. Doesn't mean they're all bad cigars. You got to give them a second chance. Try 2 or 3 before you make a determination on any cigar, unless it's just something you just can't handle, or you just don't like the profiles or anything at all. But if you have construction issues, always give it a second or third chance. But with that said, we'll be back with the final third after this as I get through this cigar. Welcome back, everybody, for my final third of the My Father Opulencia 6x60 box pressed. Something I didn't state in earlier was that this is one of the first My Father cigars to feature a Mexican wrapper. So definitely something to try, something definitely new. It is now getting, there was a little bit of a brown sugar sweetness to it. The cedar's kind of fading off, the pepper's fading off. I'm getting a little more of the leather profile on this cigar, but as you can see, it is still burning pretty good. It's not razor sharp. I've touched it up maybe twice. It is at this point an hour and 20 minutes in, so definitely it is a slow cigar, so don't rush it. It might even last longer for you, but I puff through cigars pretty quick. So with that said, the final third and my final thoughts, awesome. Can't beat it. I have not yet, as I said, have had a bad blended My Father. There's some construction issues on some of the cigars. There was one stick or two out there that I had some issues with the ash being real flaky. But man, I have had far and in between no bad experiences. So definitely check them out. They have a whole series. I have a whole bunch of videos that you can check on my history of My Father's. Man, they got a little bit of everything. So check it out. It is a great cigar. So with that said, have a great day. Have a great smoke. And I will see you next time.